What a week it's been so far. Exciting times.
It's definitely been some like stupid reading in the news.
Oh yeah.
We cannot escape it. That's the problem. It doesn't go away.
Well, before we get into that, Ken had some food news for us. He went and ate a hat dog, or not a hat dog, but a hat burger, and had a hat hot dog with it, is what I'm understanding. Is that right?
Well, there's a new place. Actually, I think they moved in from Austin. They're going to open 3 or 4 locations in the area. It's called Hat Creek Burger Company.
Ooh, strike one. They're from Austin.
Yeah, so we've been... Well, so the story goes, it's a dude that had a food truck.
Okay.
And he served cheeseburgers and shakes, milkshakes.
Yeah.
And so the expectation is when you go to the restaurant that you want to see cheeseburgers and milkshakes. That's not the case.
Really?
Yeah, you go in there and it's like 4 different types of cheeseburgers.
Okay.
And apparently they're locked into how you order them too, by the way.
There's no change.
There's no changing it around. At least the girl that we had wasn't buying it.
She wouldn't have any of that.
Yeah, because
sounds like PJ Terry stuff.
I don't know anything about it.
That's an Austin thing too.
So we get in there, and so there's hot dogs and there's fries, and I didn't see. They may have had other stuff like that. I think they have a breakfast burrito too.
Okay.
They gave us coupons for that, but so we order a classic because when you go into a restaurant, you want to take a classic cheeseburger and see if it's a classic cheeseburger.
That's
right?
going to give you. That's probably going to give you the taste of everything else that's going to be on the menu and how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's a benchmark for all cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
If you call yourself a burger shop, you got to make a classic. So we ordered the classic, and Annette asked for mustard on it, and the girl goes, "Oh, wait, it doesn't come with mustard. It comes with hat sauce."
Oh.
Okay, I'm like, okay. What is hat sauce? She goes, "Well, it's got horseradish and something else." And I said, "Well, it sounds spicy to me." "Oh no, it's not spicy." I said, "Well, I don't want it."
Horseradish in it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I said, "I don't want it on there." So anyway, the 2 women of the group decided that that's what's going to go on there. So we ordered it with that. So we placed our order, and we're going to split this. Okay. So we get to the table, and we sit down, and we're waiting. And the way this place is laid out is they have a really nice porch outside with tables and fans.
Yeah.
Which looks like it might be pretty cool. But inside, it's like very institutional. The tables are basically cemented to the floors. So they're fixed, and it's kind of crowded.
They're worried about you riding over their crappy burger.
Apparently, right? So
is this like a mental hospital at night?
It almost looks like it doesn't have a very friendly feeling to it.
Nurse Ratchet, can I have my French fries now?
Right. It reminds me of a Freddy's. Have you been to a Freddy's?
Yeah. It
kind of it's like that. So it's kind of a crowded, disjointed area where you order and people are standing over you while they're waiting for their order. So anyway, the food comes out. And dude, this thing couldn't have been more than 5 inches round. It was not a very big round burger.
Oh.
It was very tight, and it was very tall, so it was 2 pieces of meat.
Okay.
And I think there was bacon and cheese on it, and that's it. No lettuce, no tomato, no onion, nothing.
Just a sad little fat burger.
I think.
What's that? I think?
Yeah, because I was like, because how I interpret it is, I think that was bacon. I think that was lettuce. I think that was
and
potentially.
Yeah, I guess I put it that way for a reason because we got it to the table, or it came to the table, and we were looking at it, and we kind of looked at each other and go, oh, okay, we'll give it a try. So we're eating it, and Annette gives me her half. She goes, I'm done. I'm not eating.
It was that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad. So I said, well, why don't you try one of the hot dogs? That's kind of what you wanted when you came in. So she went up there and she ordered a hat dog.
Okay.
Now, the way they do their hat dog is it's a split grilled hot dog on a bun with coleslaw and onions.
So the bouncing that you're hearing in the background is Lucy trying to make her presence known.
Yeah, she's wanting to play ball right now.
Yeah, my golden is sitting in here trying to distract.
We needed a fourth for the podcast, and we figured she'd be a good ad.
There you go. She'll get bored and leave here in a minute.
No, yeah. She's a good time. Y'all will enjoy her.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. So she ordered the hat dog.
Okay.
So the hat dog comes to the table, and when I picked it up, there was water dripping off of the bun. And you know how a hot dog, you know how nasty those buns are when they're wet?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It was one of the most disgusting hot dogs I've ever seen in my life.
That's like taking somebody else's chewed gum and just going at it.
It really is because so when we went to look for the hot dog, first of all, we had to uncover it from all the bullshit on top of it. So it was not even real coleslaw. It was like hand tossed coleslaw. So apparently that's a bougie thing in Austin.
Right on.
So we take all the onions off. She puts her mustard on there, and we try to pack this thing back together. She took one bite of it and was done. So I had to finish that too.
Wow.
But I couldn't because the bun was so soggy that I just took the hot dog out and just left everything else in a tray.
I'm actually kind of glad because this is like the third episode in a row we've actually dropped bougie.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Podcast.
Right, yeah,
that's awesome.
And then
I'm trying to set a record.
And the other thing that I have is if there was ever a phrase that I have that dreams up like a horrible image, is disgusting and hot dog used consecutively
in a row, right
it's
together.
Horrible. That's awful.
Well, yesterday was National Hot Dog Day, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Yesterday was National Hot Dog Day.
Happy Hot Dog Day to you, Sam.
Yeah. So
belated.
So needless to say, they gave us 2 coupons that were a part of our tray for breakfast burritos. So I'm going to give those free burritos a try just to see. But I will be honest with you.
Masochistic. I like that, Ken.
Yeah. There's so many other good burger joints around us.
Yeah.
That,
why waste your time
doing that? Because one burger, fries, and 2 drinks was $18.
Wow.
Yeah. So
for food you didn't even like.
Yeah. It was
so
bad.
I will counter your burger story with so a couple of days ago was my dad's birthday.
Okay.
So he wanted to go to one of these fucking chains around, one of the Mexican food chains here, and I have this thing about eating at chains.
Right.
There's a Mexican food chain around here?
Yeah. Texas, I know, right?
So is there? The only one I know of is Taco Bell.
So I took him to a place he had never been to before. I took him to Cisco's.
Oh, we love that place.
So Cisco's, I was like, hey, I know you've never been here before. I'm going to take you here. And, the thing about Cisco's is I'm not going to call it award-winning food because it's good. But the thing I like about it is the freaking service is the staff.
They're spot on, huh?
The staff and everything. Every one of my experiences is the same as the last.
Right.
I mean, it's just really, really good. So my dad had the fajitas, but my mom got their Baja burger.
Okay.
Oh, I never tried
So
that.
the first thing I was thinking is burger in a freaking Mexican food place. But I was like, okay, Mom, it's whatever you want. I never saw her fawn more over a burger than that one, and then so it was too large. She had to take it home, so she split it with my dad because they eat like birds sometimes during lunch.
Yeah,
and my dad
just kind of pick at it, huh?
Yes, my dad said, even for a day old half a burger, he's like, my God, that thing was freaking delicious.
Well, now I'm good and hungry. Now that we've talked about all this,
so if you ever go to freaking Cisco's and want to have a burger, try the Baja.
I'm going to
burger.
give that a whirl.
Everybody says it's good. I haven't tried it, but I like everything about the place. I mean, so I know the owners and I know the management there. And what's funny is I got to know them well after 2 or 3 years of being a patron, which was kind of interesting. But they do California style Mexican food, which is what separates it from a lot of the Tex-Mex.
Is that what it is?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's a Veracruz style food. So when you get their fish tacos or their enchiladas or even they have a brisket burrito. That's a beef brisket burrito.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's really good. And so everything they do is pretty much based off of a California style.
Did not even know.
Yeah, so that's why I like it better. Because the Tex-Mex becomes muddy. And what I mean by muddy is everything's all brown and covered with beans or some kind of brown gravy.
Yeah.
And that's just...
That gets old.
You can make a pair of shoes taste good with the right gravy.
Yeah.
It reminds me of some meme I saw the other day. It was like a commercial for some restaurant, and it was a restaurant an analyst, so he's basically trying to help these people improve their business.
Okay.
And he threw a piece of chicken, threw a piece of steak, threw a piece of like fish, and he's like, they all taste the same. They taste like mesquite, and that. What is your statement there about everything's muddy?
Yeah,
that's where it makes sense.
So that's the one thing about mesquite. Since we're talking about it, it is one of those It's one of those smokes or flavors that you use sparingly. Anybody that knows what they're talking about, will say that I'm going to use a post oak or I'm going to use a hickory wood mainly, and I'm going to throw in mesquite just for the flavor at the end. But if you cook everything in mesquite, it's so strong.
It dominates.
It dominates everything.
Yeah.
And that's a very good point because not everything needs to taste like smoked wood.
Right.
And but Cisco's, they do a good job with it. Their beans are good. What I like about it is their sauce is really good.
Their sauce is
their chips
really good.
Really good.
Uh-huh.
And all their vegetables are fresh. So if you get vegetables there, your salads or whatever it is, they're crispy and they crackle. They're not wilty and warm. You know, lettuce shouldn't be wilty and warm.
No,
but it's good. But yeah, so going back to Hat Creek, save your money. I'm sorry, guys. We generally try to give thumbs up on stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we really don't try to bag on.
Yeah, I really don't want to bag on anybody, but until somebody complains enough, they got a lot of shit to fix because there's no milkshakes in there.
And if they fix it, we'll go back and try it and give it, give it another whirl.
Sure. A good milkshake might actually bring people to your yard, though.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, I don't get
all the boys to their yard.
I don't get why they do that. But yeah.
Speaking of soggy hot dogs, what about this assault on Area 51? Boy, that's looking like that's going to shape up to be very exciting. From what I understand, the Air Force is going to turn planes loose on folks, and it's going to be just an all-out free-for-all.
What's that movie where the drones come? Is it Battleship? No, not Battleship. Battlefield LA or something like that, or.
Yeah, that's where the aliens invade.
Yeah, they plant themselves in the ocean and they're powered by seawater.
That's it, yeah.
And then all these little drones come flying out.
Yeah.
I guarantee, all they got to do is let those things lift off.
Yeah.
You get about 5 drones come flying out, those little bastards are going to take off running.
I want it to be live fed so people can put wagers down.
Please, for the love of God, bring your cameras, bring your phones. We want to watch this from the comfort of our homes. I am praying to God that you people document this because I haven't been entertained in a while. I mean, not by TV or YouTube.
And
I'm looking forward to this.
I want people to, like you said, I want them to videotape this stuff because after they're dead, all you do is walk around, pick your fucking phone,
right?
Yeah. And then you deep dive all the phones and collect this montage video.
Dude,
then you sell that shit.
Exactly. You've got at least 12 seasons worth of documented material.
Absolutely.
I mean, I will watch religiously. Advertise away, I'm going to be watching.
You remember in Mars Attacks when they all showed up at this drive-in theater? Yeah, remember they were all camped out in a drive-in theater, and the what's her name? Annette Bening was doing the whole crystals and meditating. I mean, this is what's going to turn into.
Absolutely.
It's going to turn into non-Burning Man.
Well, it'll start off not as Burning Man, and then there'll be some Burning Men at the end of it. I have a feeling.
Funny that you said it because I'm driving over here, and I was like, this Area 51 gathering is Burning Man with fucking aliens.
Exactly.
I want this to be like off the chain.
You know that's what it's going to turn into. The hippies will be out there spinning around their fire sticks, doing that fire stick juggling thing, and then you'll have dancing to some techno music. I mean, it's going to be outstanding.
And the aliens will be there going, at least our festival here was way more successful than that fucking Fire Fest.
Exactly.
So let's kind of talk a little bit about the legitimacy of this thing.
Right.
So
how did it even start?
Yeah, it started as a joke, right?
That's the way I understood it. There was a guy that got on and he was doing I guess a little stand-up bit on YouTube, and he was talking about raiding Area 51. Him and his friends were going to get together and raid Area 51.
Right.
And apparently it turned into a legitimate deal. Everybody was signing up saying, I'll go.
This is the battle plan.
There's Kyle.
Yeah,
there's Kyle right there. Yeah. There's Kyle's plan.
The Kyles, which are the Monster Energy buff berserkers.
Yeah.
The anti-vax kids,
the
Naruto runners, the Karens, the furries, and the rock throwers.
So this is from an army. This is the Army IPB.
Yes.
For raiding Area 51.
So I didn't know what the Naruto runners were until somebody finally enlightened me. This came from an anime thing, and it's a style of running that takes place in anime.
That's what it is?
Yes, I didn't know this. I was wondering, somebody posted that with one of the Area 51 memes the other day on Facebook. And what it is these idiots run, and they do this in real life. I've seen kids doing this. They run with their arms behind their back, like flailing around, like they're dead. Yeah, kind of like their arms are dead. So that's what a Naruto runner is. I had no clue until
that is hilarious.
Thank you, Area 51, for enlightening me as to what those guys are.
Well, it's funny because for many, many, many years, people have been driving up in their vehicles acting like they're wanting to take video.
Oh yeah,
and I mean they're immediately encountered by some pretty serious dudes with a lot of weaponry that say, look,
you need to go.
Yeah, this is your only warning. Yeah.
Even if you get to the fence, you have gone too fucking far.
I think they tell you that in signage around the place. Yeah. And most military installations do say that. It's not the only one.
It's an hour and 52-minute drive just to get to the fence.
Exactly.
That's
from the warning sign.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't see how it's going to happen.
The base that we were on in New Mexico was really, really close to
the rest of us thinking
this Area 51 deal. But because one of the guys, I guess, that traverses between the base that we were on and where Area 51 is, because he was talking about all the caves and shit.
Yeah.
Because caves are like off limits. I don't care if you're a government personnel.
You don't go in.
You do not fucking go in.
Okay.
That thing.
So there's a documentary out there about a dude from Las Vegas that went missing. I don't know. And it's actually, there's YouTube videos of it. And this has happened years ago. And it was a local kind of hiker that spends all his time in the deserts north of town. And he went out and he was documenting his hikes through the mountains and the caverns.
Right.
And he came across a cave. And he says he went in this cave and he was hit with this intense energy.
Okay.
Okay. And so he left the cave and he tried to mark his trail and everything. Anyway, he went back to explore for it, and he disappeared, and they never found him again. And this is this is for real.
This really happened. This
really
is not some peyote story.
Yeah, no peyote story.
Okay.
So a bunch of guys, there was a couple ex-military guys that, and it's a ruck. I mean, it is a hike to get where he was.
Yeah.
That is unkind walking territory.
I would think so.
It is. So they found an abandoned house where they say they saw stuff that was his.
Okay.
They found a pistol laying on the ground by a well, a hand dug water well.
Was it his gun?
They think it was.
Okay.
The girlfriend confirmed that it was the guy's gun.
Okay.
They found a cell phone over there too, but they didn't find the dude. So they decided to go down in a well. No signs of the guy in the well.
Okay.
So they started tracking off different areas, walking off, trying to find the guy, and no evidence of him. But they did find a cave opening that was closed,
Okay.
sealed. Don't know if it was by a rock slide. Don't know if it was by an explosion. Anyway, it's a legit deal.
But by the time they got to that, they were just too tired, so they just left it sealed up.
Well, yeah. Apparently, when there's
He's in there.
millions of tons of boulders inside of the
Right,
area.
no.
The discussion amongst the search crews, like, hey, are any of you guys getting kind of tired?
Yeah, that shit looks heavy.
There's only two dudes.
Let's come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was a real interesting story because, I used to work in Las Vegas a lot, and so I would see the white plane with the red stripe.
Yeah, that's a real deal. I've seen that on
There's a name for that plane. I forget what it is, but anyway, the Janet. I think it's the Janet flight.
Yeah, that
Janet
sounds
flight.
right.
And so I used to see that thing fly in multiple times a day, and then up where one of our facilities were, there's a nuclear. It's not a test facility, but it has nuclear defense placards all around.
Yeah.
And it's just south of Nellis Air Force Base. And it's funny because, these things take on an urban legend of their own.
Yeah.
They just do. People come up with, I know a dude that used to work there and stuff. But you have to remember that part of the state is heavily militarized because of Nellis.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of real estate's flown over for practice and military use. And
it's a great place for it. It's a hard place to spy on. I mean, there's no place to hide. I mean, they
know what you're flying over the top of. For sure.
Yeah.
And so people that go wandering off out there with the technology that they have, whether it's infrared or heat sensing,
you are not getting anywhere close if they don't want you to.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. It's not going to happen. So the fate of that dude's still yet to be determined. But it does kind of make sense because caves are the perfect place.
Yeah.
To hide shit that you don't want anybody to see, and there's miles and networks of them over there. So I think it's funny, but I don't know. I'm going to do some reading on this Kyle group here in a second because I'm not familiar with that group. So
I wonder if they're tied with Bud Light. I understand Bud Light has some. If you retweet some of their stuff, that they're gonna hook you up with some beer. Is that what the story is on that?
Well, what happened was Guy Fieri. So this hit social media, and it was like 1.6 million people were pinging on this Facebook group, right?
Right.
And so Guy Fieri said, "Hey, if you guys show up, I'll make some radioactive ribs." So that got out. Then a fireworks dude that owned a fireworks stand says, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just set up fireworks booth, kind of like the Joe Dirt dude, right? The
Indian Joe or whatever his name. Yeah.
So
Jack,
so
Joe,
that
whatever.
Those are all the fireworks that I like.
Right. There you go. And then you had Moon Pie,
Nice.
Moon pie was going to throw in, and then you had.
You need some Ben and Jerry's because it's hot. Somebody better call those hippies up and get them out there because
well,
we need to get UFO Brewery out there then.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that'll show up and sponsor this.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of fun to watch and see what these guys do because I'm more interested in what the Air Force is going to do.
Yeah, I doubt they're showing up for the moon pies.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I could just see all of a sudden they're sitting there, and all you have to do is just turn the lights on and let everything glow.
Yeah.
And then when these things just pop up and just start shooting out at them.
Flee for your life type situation.
It would be fun as shit to watch them run. I hope they do it kind of at twilight so you can still see them running.
Yeah.
With tracer rounds.
Yeah.
With tracer rounds.
But I don't know.
Hey, buddy, did you get some moon pie pickups out there?
What's funny is the security, the Air Force security force guys. Now, some of those dudes are.
It's the real deal.
Those dudes are shooters.
Oh yeah.
You know, people laugh at the Air Force. A lot of the Air Force security police, but I have a friend that was one.
Yeah.
And so his job was to be on nuclear watch when bombers were carrying nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Dude, they ain't playing around.
No.
That's not some shit.
Well, dude, they run the PJ program, and from what I understand, that is no joke. That is some real to life dudes right there.
So I was flying to Vegas with a guy that was a PJ, and he was a Green Beret first.
Okay.
Yeah,
he actually left the Army.
They pull from other services, from what I understand.
Yeah, he left the Army and went to the PJs. And
once you do the final stages, it's just a formality. You'll go from if you were because I had a guy who was in my old unit who was a PJ, and so he left the Air Force, and then he went straight to group.
Okay.
So all he had to do was, and it was part of the packet for when he transitioned is, hey, go to Robin Sage, and then you have your beret, and you go to your home unit.
Okay.
So, but yeah, those dudes.
Those dudes are no joke. I watched a special on them, and just the running that they do is insane.
Oh yeah.
They got from what I understand, the course is set up out here in like south of San Antonio somewhere.
Bullis, isn't it?
Is it Lackland?
It's Camp Bullis, isn't it?
Bullis is where okay. So Bullis is where the A school is for Air Force guys,
right?
But Bullis is home to a lot of special guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, I just watched. They did a special on just the first 6 weeks of their training and just the running that they did and the amount of time that they had to complete the run was just unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how guys weren't dropping dead. Because it's the Texas heat, man.
If you look at it in the context of their. So if you take some of the attributes of the sniper discipline, where you're basically running from, you're bounding. Yeah. You're bounding from cover and concealment to some other cover and concealment for angle or whatever. But Bullis itself is fucking hostile terrain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
that
rocks and thorns.
Well, it's kind of like this Area 51 terrain that we're talking about.
Yeah,
it's
Bullis now is way better. I stayed at Bullis when it had the old 1940s bullshit.
The old barracks and shit on it.
Oh my god! And its improvements were made. The story I heard was there was some Texas congressman or somebody who had some kind of pull somewhere that his son was with a unit that was deploying out of Bullis, which I don't even know how the fuck that would work, but they did.
Okay.
So this congressman or whoever this elected official came through and found money to throw at fucking Bullis to make it not a
make it livable.
Because if you stay at Bullis for more than one day, it fucking sucks. Yeah. So.
Well, you know me, I've got much respect for all of them, but that place, just like I said, just what I watched, I was like, my God, what a I don't know how they do it. It's awesome.
And driving into Bullis in itself is, like Ken said, now it's not quite an hour drive in, but it's quite a stretch just to get.
You're not going to get very far in before you're intercepted somewhere. Yeah. But it's funny because I'm reading about that Naruto running. Yeah, and apparently this says if we Naruto run, we can move faster than their bullets.
Way to go, Neo!
Now we understand how the Matrix was made.
Exactly. It's all coming together.
Man, this is crazy.
That's funny.
The alien I stole from Area 51 showing up in my room at 3 a.m. to tell me that he threw up.
The memes have been funnier than any. The memes
they're
have
the
been
best.
hilarious,
That was a meme. That
now
was
I
one
just
of the
want
memes we
people
just read
to
off.
post pictures of themselves Naruto running and throw it on one of the comments of one of our on one of our posts. That'd be. I want to see that shit.
Yeah.
So there's a picture they took of Keanu doing that when he was what's his name from Neo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nemo.
Yeah. Nemo.
Nemo.
Yeah, little Nemo. I don't know. I mean, so. These things are kind of dangerous because I think there's a lot of dudes that take this shit serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the funny thing is that you can make money at because Bud Light will do a beer for you. It says "We come in peace," which I think is cool.
That's the best part of it. Is it's been commercialized.
Yeah.
Everybody saw the money in it, and I love that. I love America.
This reminds me of Firefest almost.
So yeah. So now that fat fuck that shows up that gets posted to your page.
Okay.
The guy that's got the YouTube page. That
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my god.
That was one of the best ones we received all week.
That knucklehead weighed in on the whole
Lapel?
Area 50. Yeah.
Well, it's not Lapel.
Not him, it's somebody. We'll
leave him unnamed because I don't want to give him any.
I don't remember
any
what
sort
the
of credence.
Dude, yeah, but this dude weighed in on this whole topic, and I'm like, dude,
his last name's Annette, so we'll just go.
I know exactly who. Okay,
Yeah.
This
Now you know
dude,
who we're talking
This
about.
dude's a fucking moron.
So I have this guy, and he was on my page at one point. I have a firearms page that I run.
This Annette dude was on the page.
He was at one point. So they added him because they knew the rash of shit that he would take for being on my page. So this guy posts these videos. He's allegedly part of the firearms community, and the videos he makes are. I wouldn't even say that they're B-rated videos for the firearms community. It's not even that good. I mean, it makes Godzilla look award-winning.
I mean,
that's how bad his video production is. So
it's a Mike Tyson love child is what he reminds me of.
Exactly. That's a good analogy for this dude. And so he gets on, and like I said, his videos. Most people get progressively better. This guy gets progressively worse. So he makes commentaries and things like that on firearms. So he decided to do one on Area 51. He gets on camera. This is the best part of it. He gets on camera. He says, "Sorry guys, I just got done mowing the lawn, so I'm kind of dirty.
Yes.
But I feel it necessary to bring up Area 51 at this point and explain what's going on." And then he proceeds to try to explain how Area 51 is going to go down, and it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen, man.
Y'all who Officer Doofy is?
Yes.
Officer Doofy plus 300 pounds. Plus 300 pounds.
That's this guy.
That reminds me of my favorite meme. It says, if there's a woman in that dude's house, her name is Mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every time it's that
What's
mom.
that with Mom? Bring down the pizza rolls.
Yeah.
But then he attempts to explain this whole Area 51 situation. It gets even more and more comical. I'm not going to plug the guy because I think he does harm to the firearms community. And I really don't want him, I don't want to give him any more popularity than he already has. So best of luck to him. I hope he does well. Hope you get your shit together at some point. But yeah, that was entertaining. That definitely made this whole Area 51 thing. It brought it home for me.
Well, I'm looking it up while y'all are talking.
Yeah,
so.
this dude is absolute moron.
He's a good time.
But so after this Area 51, we've sort of been tracking this whole meth gator.
The meth gator, that's been exciting. And hopefully he'll do a gun video on the meth gator at some point. It
just makes me wonder if there's like any kind of ties between the Area 51, the aliens, and the goddamn meth gator. Particularly because, okay, so you've got the meth gator and somehow magically, changing the behavior of the alligator through methamphetamines dumping into wastewater. But you also, we were talking while you were downstairs about the gator that showed up in fucking Chicago.
Oh
Yeah. So interesting enough, the movie Alligator from 1980 was set in Chicago. So really, this is more of a prophetic book out of the Bible as far as I'm concerned. That's how, they were just 30 years ahead of their time. That's how we got here. That was a great movie, by the way.
Revelations for alligators in Chicago.
Exactly. How did we end up here? So in the movie, how it starts out is you have a little girl that gets caught in one of the tourist traps down in Florida, and she buys a gator, brings it back, and her dad's like this xenophobe for animals or something, right? And he takes the gator, he flushes it, and then the gator feeds on these biologically altered animals. And so
get that motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
off
Ken's
damn.
Oh, this is the best. So
No.
You got something in common, dude.
they do.
Son of a bitch.
That is awesome.
Goddamn guitar.
So I'm going to share it to you.
Yes.
So you guys can become guitar buddies.
That's right. Y'all can share licks. So where we're at,
This is better than a pet monkey.
Ken decided to deep dive this Annette character that we were talking about, and he found out that Annette is also a guitarist by trade, apparently.
Aficionado.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that fits right in with Graham. So Graham's a guitarist. This guy's a
So
guitarist.
you know your gator story. So I'll just tell you a little bit about the gator story. That got started in Tennessee. Cops were raiding meth houses.
Okay.
And so dudes were trying to dump all their shit in the toilet to avoid getting caught. So the cops were like, don't do that because it's going to get in the ecosystem. It's going to go down Shoal Creek and it's going to go down this river and it's going to end up, we're going to have
You're going to make meth gators, man.
And so it started out as a joke, but what was funny was there was actually a story about a dude, a true story, that kept a squirrel in a cage, and it was an attack squirrel.
yeah.
Yes.
And he was giving the squirrel methamphetamines. Okay? So
We posted this on my political page at
making
some
him
point.
very violent, you know?
Right.
So that's what this dude is to Graham. Graham, see? Dude with a guitar, put him in a cage,
You make him
give
your
him a
meth.
microphone and a camera, and just let that bird sing.
Make him your meth monkey.
Oh my god.
Feed him some meth. Give him a guitar.
Because my counter to the meth squirrel or whatever it was the squirrel that ate
8 subscribers.
the squirrel that ate the fermented watermelon.
Oh, yeah.
And this
Drunk squirrel?
Yes, because I was like, if I was a furry animal with a tail,
Yeah.
I'd be that animal.
Yeah.
Oh, every time.
Dude, that's funny. Well, I don't see his Area 51 video, though. It's not on here.
You might not be at the right. I'm wondering if you're at the right one. Maybe he's got two because this is not his firearms. I
Yeah.
think, look under Annette firearms or type in firearms and see if it comes up with that.
Yeah, because the firearms channel has like
I
surprisingly,
think he's like 300 subscribers, dude.
Exactly.
And it's a good time. I mean, look, if you're looking for a good time,
So, so that's what I did. I did the, I went to
there
his,
it is right
yeah,
there, 377.
oh man, there it is. Area 51. Thoughts on Area 51. His thoughts on Area 51 were the Air Force. This is what I got from it, and I'm not far off, like exactly quoting him, but the Air Force is going to release planes.
Oh,
They're going to release planes, people. Release the planes.
million planes that are worth $1 million.
Yeah.
a million.
It was like Rain Man. It was like listening to Rain Man describe a battle strategy. It was awesome.
I got closed captioning on
Yeah.
because this is just too damn funny.
Yeah. Reading it even makes it worse because it's like he really said
Oh
that.
my god, that is so much fun.
That is like good afternoon video watching.
Oh,
right
for
there.
sure.
If
Well-
you ever want to lose IQ points,
Yeah.
pull this shit up.
And 6 hours. I mean, it's a good time.
You know, it's just, I don't know. So if Area 51 goes down,
Right.
okay, and say these dudes actually win,
Which
the crazies,
The Kyles.
the Kyle
The Kyles and the Karens.
say they actually, what if they just were gone? What if they showed up, crashed the gates, and there was nothing there?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
You know, so you get in
Kind of like Geraldo with the safe.
yes.
we were just attacked by an army of Kyles and Chads.
Yeah.
Area 51 itself could just be a decoy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a satellite decoy, and they're all probably sitting down below saying, "You hear the pitter patter of little feet above us?"
Yeah.
The memes that are going around now is they're all going to show up because they don't realize everything's been moved to Area 52.
52.
Yeah. The funniest thing was the dude that said, "Hey, I heard there's a Del Taco there. I'm in." I was like,
that was
"Damn,
funny, yeah.
that was."
If that's the
hilarious.
case, I'm going because I hadn't had Del Taco in forever.
Been a
So
while, hadn't it?
scoot out the way. I need a Del Taco.
Yeah, the whole, to me, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Area 51 is just a place that a plane lands
Yeah.
and people go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it from, I mean, we can look at aerial maps all the time. I'm sorry, I'm reading this dude's closed captioning and I'm
It's
just dying
incredible.
right
It's incredible.
now. You know, they, the stuff that they do with electronics, magnetics, all the stuff that they're going to do, It's not going to be out in the open anyway.
Well, I think it used to be a real place in the 50s and 60s and 70s when Skunk Works was there and all that stuff. I mean, we know about all that. That's public knowledge. And I do think it was a real place and a real base to do real secretive things back then.
So back in the day, Skunk Works was usually guys building models or real mock-ups.
Yeah.
Now they do everything on computer.
It's all done on computer. There's no reason to have it.
Yeah, the simulations do everything for you, and you don't really. And with the 3D,
no materials cost.
Yeah, I had a friend that worked for Ford Motor Company, and this is back in the '80s when they were doing 3D machining and milling of engine blocks and car parts.
Yeah.
So if Ford's doing it, the U.S. military's research and development groups
20, 30 years down the road,
way ahead of that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm not. Because we were talking. Let's talk about the aircraft carrier incident.
Oh,
while we're doing this,
that's true.
Because there's been a leaked video of
it was in the Pacific. It was a Pacific Fleet group. I'm not sure the group number, but they had
probably 7th Fleet.
That sounds right. The number just escapes me off the top of my head, but that sounds right.
Usually the one you hear the most about.
It is, and it was a big group. I mean, it's submarines. It was the whole shooting match. It wasn't just the carrier. It was the whole shooting match that picked this bogey up on radar that was moving erratically and extremely fast and then hovering and doing all this stuff. So they scramble F-18s.
It's like a really good drone operator.
Yeah. But anyway, they scramble F-18s and they actually get visual confirmation.
Oh, I remember y'all talking about this.
Yeah, this a couple of weeks ago we brought this up.
I remember this.
And they've done several interviews with the pilot that piloted the F-18. He was a retired captain, I believe. So he held rank. He's like, look, I know people are going to think this is crazy. He's very coherent. He didn't come across as the standard desert dweller that looks half crazy. His sentence structure was good. He made sense, and he was very detailed. And this is what the interviewer picked up on: is like, look, the way this guy explains his story, it seems that he's telling me the truth. I don't detect any. Normally when these interviewers go out, they can detect when people are BSing them. You know what I mean? It's like some of the story doesn't match up. There were several people. There was a radar operator that was interviewed along with this. There was a second plane that was scrambled with a female pilot. She confirmed the sighting. Yeah, we know how we know how you feel about that, Graham. But no, seriously, she confirmed the sighting. And the most interesting part of this is, all this is normally documented. You know this, Graham. Everything like this gets documented on a carrier. There's tapes made.
Well, I just think that when the woman part is like a woman comes out and goes, "Are you fucking serious?" And then she flies out there too. You're lying to me.
No, I don't think this is how. Actually, she was first on the scene, from what I understand.
Okay.
So anyway, this is all documented. They keep tape of all this stuff. Tape's missing. They got before Congress. This group got before Congress. There is actually senators involved in this. There's actually some government interdiction from senators and congressmen trying to get to the end of this, and they're running into roadblocks. So I find it pretty interesting that here we have the storming of Area 51, and you actually have confirmed military. This has been some of the first time. This is one of the first times that you've actually had military personnel that have provable backgrounds that have come out and said, "Look, I documented this. This is real."
And the thing that drives me nuts is just secrets in general, where if let's just say hypothetically that there is an alien, there was an alien sighting, possession, whatever.
Yeah,
is that you'll have a government body or an individual claiming national security.
Yeah.
And I'm so in my head, I start constructing this. Okay, the justification is this.
Right.
Okay, the justification can't be because you have something that's the justification. It needs to be something.
You gotta have some legitimacy to it. Yes. Is that what you're saying?
And that's where it drives me nuts whenever I hear the attachment to
right. Well, and here's the thing: the thing that made the article interesting is they didn't say the word aliens. They just said a craft. They didn't. They said, look, this could have been another military's craft. This could have been our military's craft. Yeah. They never came out and tried to say this was aliens. You know what I mean?
Well, if you listen to 2 podcasts ago, you know where I'm coming from.
Right. Oh, yeah, the little midget aliens.
I'm telling you, these are genetic engineered exercises to put people in spacecraft that have been or flying vehicles or planes that the human can't keep up with.
Right.
So this is a cyber.
Plus, if they die, nobody will miss them.
Yeah. Who cares? You were
No
made in a tube.
fingerprints, no birthdays, none of that stuff. It reminds me of kind of like a hitman with all those guys.
You don't even have a penis.
It's got a barcode in the back of his head.
reproduce.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're biologically sterile.
Yeah. I mean, that just makes the best sense.
That's what kept me interested in this is nobody ever tagged it as some otherworldly thing. You know, they didn't try to get all mystical with it. It was like, look, here are the facts. This is what it did. It moved at several hypersonic speeds. It went from hypersonic to hovering and then the range of motion was obviously unusable. You would have pulled 20, 30 Gs in this thing for the turns it was making.
Engineering language, plus you can't really give it a name.
Yeah.
Because if you had a name, it also divulges that you're monitoring some. Okay, let's say it's another country. It's another foreign entity.
So if you label it, what you're saying is if you're labeling it.
Oh my God, the fucking Americans are watching.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going with this.
So if you keep it like super fucking simple,
yeah,
it's like we saw this, and then somebody's going to be going and the government is there's no and. That's it.
Yeah, we saw it. It is.
We saw it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know that's stuff. I can't wait. I mean, is there a date for this thing?
You know, I don't know if the hard date's been set. I'm hoping at some point there's some flyers.
The 51 deal?
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be in September.
Is it?
I don't know what the significance of September is. But
9/11?
I mean, not for these fuckers.
Yeah.
So, but
1.5 million people have already reserved a spot.
Yeah, but come on.
I know.
How many of those are going to be able to talk their mom into giving them
That's like
airfare? You know what I mean? Mom, come on, I promise.
How much of those seats are like the sidelines? I want to watch people. I want to watch the fire.
I guarantee.
Dude, I'd go to the bleachers. There's no doubt. Now, I want a ticket to the bleachers. I would watch live as long as you don't promise to get any splatter on me.
Yeah.
I'll watch from the bleachers. So what else do we have going on with this one? We got the the meth gator covered.
We got we're gonna go back to an old favorite of ours.
Okay,
it's this fucking gender crap.
Gender language, gendering.
Yes.
Okay.
Degendering in this case.
So
manhole covers.
So
Berkeley, California manhole covers.
Oh, okay.
Berkeley.
Yeah.
Is that a Berkeley?
Where this shit was.
Is that a Berkeley? Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to read a memo that went to all these city employees.
Okay.
It said, in recent years, broadening societal awareness of transgender and gender non-conforming identities have brought to light the importance of non-binary gender inclusivity. Oh my God. Therefore, it's both timely and necessary to make the environment of City Hall and the language of city legislation consistent with the principles of inclusion.
I just imagine somebody walking along rifles dropping fucking daisies in the barrels.
Sure. Yeah.
And I just
so
want to
there's
punch
more.
them.
Okay. Having a male-centered municipal code is inaccurate and not reflective of our reality.
Inaccurate.
Women and non-binary individuals are just as entitled to accurate representation. Our laws are for everyone, and our municipal code should reflect that. City Council Member Rigel Robinson.
So does a manhole cover have a penis? I'm just not clear. Does it have a big schlong, or how does that work? I mean, if it's got an assigned gender, I mean, that's what we're talking about here, right?
Well, it's called a manhole because a man goes down the hole.
Goes down
the
the
man was doing the fucking
doing the work. And they're still doing the work.
And the women was making sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, honestly, I don't give a fuck what they do in Berkeley.
Yeah, that place falls off in the ocean. I'm sidelining that one.
They can call it whatever they want. When I show up, I'm calling it a fucking manhole.
Yeah.
Okay?
All day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it in front of somebody there just so I can see the look on
the meltdown.
Right.
Just to incite the meltdown.
And then I'm going to be like Crocodile Dundee when he reaches up. Oh yeah, she's a Sheila. Because I don't get the language. The part that got me was consistent with the principles of inclusion.
I don't know.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, they've never not been included.
Well, it could be a man.
Is there a
woman.
document that's labeled the principles of inclusion?
That made me think.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
A transsexual hole cover.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Dude, I don't know. You know what? Honestly, they can do whatever. I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home.
Right.
And if you're brave enough to walk about in the world and do it, hey, so be it.
Yeah.
Just don't hassle me. Okay? I'm not going to jeer you. I'm not going to do anything disrespectful to you. I want to go about my life and
Right.
do my own thing.
That's sort of how I am.
But I don't want you jumping up in my shit saying,
Yeah.
here I am, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
That's where these groups get in trouble.
Well, and that's where we are. I mean,
Yeah.
that has become
Sure.
the modus operandi of every group that's out there for whatever their cause tends to be.
Right. Well, it's downright shameful is what it is. I mean, it just when you start looking at the way people act towards each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, gender, race, I don't care, all that stuff. Yes, there are a lot of people out there that are idiots.
Yeah.
That do a lot of the wrong things. You can always go back and ask, well, where's their moral compass? And you can't even ask that anymore.
No.
Because now you're saying, well, I don't believe in God, so what's the moral compass? So there's a lot of gray area here, and that's part of the problem with this. Is there's so much gray area.
They're creating everything is gray.
Yeah,
now.
everything is gray now. So you're basically, it's a disruptive environment for sure.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of these politicians right now are pandering.
We're seeing a ton of that.
Yeah,
I mean, we really are
yeah.
seeing a ton of. I think that's where you see. There's the Democrat. We'll just go ahead and launch into this. The Democrats are headed down that road. I think we see that every day with the way they open their mouth, and here we are. I mean, they've made this monster. They've made this monster into what it is.
Yeah, they've been that way forever. Okay,
Right.
They used to say they were for the working man. Then they used to say they were for the poor and disenfranchised. Then they said they're for this and they're for that. And you know, it's funny. They're among the richest people in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't start out like that.
They didn't start out that way. They all started out as aldermen and couldn't hold jobs, and then get in our government to get on the government tit,
Yeah.
and to become extremely fat and wealthy over this deal. And they do it by stirring up shit like this.
Well, it's projects like this that get them the money. That's what gets them funded, and
Sure.
and you know you find these little interest groups like this, and then you find funding within that interest group, and next thing you know, you're rich.
It's political agencies. They all get involved with verbiage.
Right.
You know,
Of course, yeah.
you can't use language that somebody deems to be offensive.
Right.
When it was common language before, then suddenly somebody has deep dived something really insignificant, blown nothing up to be something, when really it's just a blown up nothing.
Well, down the road, there's always money to be made in division, and that's really what it comes down to.
Sure.
I mean, they find a way to divide people and then make money off of that division, and that's what they've figured out.
They make money by fundraising.
They do, and that's
99.9% of it.
Fundraising, and then they get involved with this group, and that group gets donations from people, or that group ends up donating to their political fund, or hiring their nephew, or however
we
it goes.
talked about that cycle a few times, and what it does is it basically is taking money from the ignorant or the foolhardy.
Yep.
And they're distributing it amongst themselves to keep the rhetoric alive.
Right.
Yeah, and it's sad because this whole Area 51 thing can kind of almost speak to that. Almost. Because if you think about it, look at the people that are in these groups.
Yeah.
They're all supporters of the shit.
They're all
that we're
supporter of
talking
the shitstorm we're just talking about.
Yeah.
So I think it's really funny because the people that are they're supporting are also the ones that are going to say, pull the fucking trigger.
Right.
I mean, they will. There's no way that they're going to allow that on their watch. I mean, I sit there and I'm watching this all, and I'm like, I've almost become very insulated to it. I mean, I look at how these people do things and how they label things and stuff, and even perception gets twisted. There's a story about Chris Pratt right now,
right,
that's floating around out there. So Chris Pratt had a picture taken of him wearing the Gadsden "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
Right.
Okay.
Now he's a white supremacist.
Well, yeah, the flag was flown by Republican Americans protesting taxes on tea in Boston.
Right.
So that was the part it's just a piece of American history. So I think there's a lady by the name of Ellen Page. She's an actress that was heavily criticizing Pratt.
Yeah.
And says that you go to a church that is also sexist and racist, and what it was they denounced LGBTQ according to her.
Right.
So here we go, spinning it up. So he replies by, no, you're completely wrong. This church's doors are open to everybody.
Yep.
Okay. And so what you see is people trying to get narrative out in the airwaves. You know, and I think it's all a distraction anyway because of the whole Epstein thing.
Yeah.
So I do fall in that camp. The whole pedophile thing.
Yeah.
What's really funny is Clinton's the one with the biggest connection to Epstein.
Yeah.
Yet they're showing videos of Trump at Mar-a-Lago dancing with girls.
Yeah.
I want to see the videos they're hiding on Bill.
Exactly. You know that's some good stuff.
You know there is because and these are cheerleaders from a professional football team that he's dancing with. They make it sound like he's dancing with a bunch of Girl Scout cookie sellers.
Right.
And it's not. These are actually adult women that want to be the next Miss Trump.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, let's call it what it is. They're all going to say the losers are always going to bash on the winner.
Every time.
It's like if you watch The Bachelor.
Yeah, I was going to say, you ever watch that show? That's a prime example of how that goes down every time.
And that's just people hating on people because they didn't get their way. And I think that's what we're seeing here with all this other bullshit. With the whole gender thing. You know, like I said, that's just a city gone wild. That is definitely Berkeley
off the rails,
losing its shit.
Yeah,
and so you elect people into these offices, and you know what? You guys just fucking deal with it out there. I don't really care.
Burn it down.
Yeah, but don't bring it here.
E.T. phoned home. He was trying to get the hell out of here.
Well, what I think is funny is the whole Area 51 thing. If that does come up, and say the aliens are freed, because this is what this reminds me of. This reminds me of PETA raiding an animal testing facility.
Yes.
It reminds me of PETA raiding an animal facility and letting all the animals loose. Come to find out the tiger they just let loose just ate the dog.
Right.
You know?
Or ate one of them.
And now it's chasing them. And this is what I think is going to be funny about these people, is that they may get more... I mean... If it was me and I was the government and I left the building, I'd leave one surprise box for you.
Exactly.
One surprise box. And it would probably be the size of a 12 by 12 box.
Right.
And when you open it up, it's like the Tasmanian devil and it just bounces off and just destroys and kills everything in contact. And then some dude comes out with another box and opens it up and it flies back in. And they close the briefcase and they walk off with it.
Awesome.
That shit would be fun.